Okay, let's leave that. In one sentence, what is the single biggest threat confronting this country today, in your opinion?
Insecurity.
What's the solution to it?
The solution to it is to make production work in the country. If you are going to use some non-kinetic measures to settle the matter, which some people had advocated, citing the Niger Delta amnesty program, that could be a way. If we are going to go all out because we are in a war situation, then we should not be ashamed to seek external help. Former President Jonathan did it, and at the time was on the way to routing Boko Haram. But today, we are not just confronted with Boko Haram. We have ISWAP, we have ISIS, and different terror groups. And I tell people, the government is helpless because I do not know of one single program or policy that the government has put in place to checkmate. All we wait for is to know how many people were killed in this state or that state, and then we'll offer the usual condolences. And then the interviewer did ask me, were I to be president, what will I do? I said, I don't even need to be president. Were I to be head of the security architecture, of course, the president is the CEC. I told him that from Abuja through Lokoja, then branch off on the way to the southwest, or you are proceeding to Edo Delta, the south, and southeast. That kidnapping that used to take place there is something that can be solved. It doesn't require rocket science. Luckily the governors are with him. Even if they are not with him, it's one federation. I call the governors. Between your state on the express, 500 meters inwards, we don't want to see any bush standing. Something must give. Yes, vegetation is good, but life is more important. We don't want to see any tree standing. Because these people just kidnap somebody on the road, and in a second. So even if help comes, you can't trace where they entered. But if you are seeing, they are also human beings, they rationalize. And they see that along that stretch, you can see as far as 500 meters. You think anybody would try kidnap another person there? That is probably why in Kano it's difficult to kidnap flat land.
You know, proponents of environmentalists and biodiversity agitators.
No, when emergencies come, and how many bush exercises have the military conducted around that corridor?
Let me ask you quickly, in less than 2 minutes, if you can do this. Part of your recommendation, you were talking about non-kinetic, and you liken it to the Niger Delta agitators. So this Operation Safe Corridor, this repentant Boko Haram, about 3,000, do you support it?
No, I said some people had suggested. You know, when you want to demobilize, it has to be a complete demobilization. Not pick a few people here, sew uniforms and give to them, and return them back to society. That's not reintegration. That's even empowering them further. The government must think of these amnesty people. They went to diverse trainings so that in the weeks and days and years to come, you could earn a living by yourself. If they don't earn, it's all tied to economy. And from economy, all other factors begin to come to play. The first and foremost is economy. If a man is being paid 500,000 to carry guns and shoot, and they're giving him drugs to be high, he will prefer to do that than staying not knowing where the next meal will come from.
Final question. So we've discussed all this political permutation moving here and there. So as it is now, it is likely shaping up to be a repeat of 2023. That's what we may get in 2027. Even though ADC hasn't done their primaries, but at least we know where Peter Obi and Kwankwan, so they're going to fly together. Tinubu and Kashim, we don't know anyway, but at least Tinubu is on the ticket. So how do you see that playing out? What do you see?
Well, my advice to the leaders of the coalition, especially of the ADC, is not to behave like jilted lovers. Mr. Peter Obi, I saw where the spokesperson of the ADC, Malam Bolaji Abdullahi, stated that Mr. Peter Obi does not even know the manifesto or something of the party. And I'm like, has any manifesto even been released to Nigerians? They appear to be crying too much over spilled milk. People talk about Mr. Peter Obi leaving parties. Mr. Peter Obi lives anywhere because of problems created by others. On the flip side, on the ADC side, whose arrowhead is former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, they rather create the problem. So I will urge them not to behave like jilted lovers. Mr. Peter Obi still has the highest respect for them as individuals and as an organization, is to think of how well we can come together to save our country. And the coast is still open. There could be collaboration at some point, and when you weigh those, you can get international organizations to conduct polls. And wherever the pendulum is swinging, the other opposition elements could come together and support that candidature to save our country from further rot.
As you sit here, do you think Mr. Peter Obi can garner the votes of Northwest and Northeast in large numbers and Southwest in large numbers?
Even when Mr. Peter Obi was infamously referred to as having only 4 persons tweeting in a room, he, in the minds of millions of Nigerians and the outside world, he won the 2023 elections.
He didn't win 2023 elections.
No, he lost legally, but in the hearts of Nigerians, he won.
Okay.
And if he won at that time in their hearts, how much so now that he has sitting senators, he has sitting House of Representative members, he has sitting State Assembly members, and he has extended the handshake further into the nerve center of the North, the Northwest, by picking a pro-people, working together with a pro-people proponent like Senator Musa Rabiu Kwankwaso. So the election is only for Nigerians to lose. We only pray that that infamous glitch that the country has refused to examine does not rear its head.
The INEC glitch of 2023.
Who may not be 2 times lucky.